Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. Good morning, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person, but if you have a great morning routine that inspires you, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and in honor of our friend Tony Robbins, get ready for a shot of Entspresso from our Tony Robbins vault. Cheers.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Most people who start a business very often will start 2 and 3, 4 more. And the reason they do it is because the first one isn't succeeding or they no longer
they
have
lack
juice
patience.
for it. Exactly right. And so what happens to that person is they're never going to be successful in most cases, unless they get lucky. You can get lucky, you can bounce across something that's easier to do. But most people are always looking for that next level. What my view is it's great to test all these things, but you got to find what is your flagship. What is it that you're going to commit your soul to? Because if you don't do that, the inevitable challenge are going to come up, and you're going to then move on to something else
100%.
that's more enjoyable. And so the other thing I look at is business is about constantly not only adding such massive value, doing more for others than anybody else, but it's also simultaneously about your own psychology. It's your ability to go through thresholds of control. It's like, I can remember when I didn't have $50,000 to keep the doors open on my company. I had 12 employees and 11 wanted to quit because they hated the person running the show. And $50,000 would be like 500 million to me today. And I figured out how to get through that threshold. And once I did, like all the problems related to that were handled. I know you've done this as well. And then I had a $5 million lawsuit that was totally unfair and unjust. And I finally had just the amount of time, energy, and money I had to bite the bullet and do it. 5 million was more than I could imagine. Then I had a partner who took a company that was losing $1 million a day and turned it to 1.5 billion in positive EBITDA. I'm not mentioning names, Amway. And he wanted me to join him in business with some other partners, not doing the multi-level side. Did the business, put in 10 million bucks. We all put in 10 million, it was 40 million in debt. But I signed joint and several, which I didn't understand in those days what that meant. And 2 of my partners were supposedly billionaires and they went broke. We bought some more companies. I ended up with $120 million in debt that I was on the hook for. No one else had any money. And I'm getting up to do a seminar wanting to throw up. It was a new threshold of control. So you know when you ski or you snowboard and you think you're just new at it and you think you're going down a blue or green and it turns out to be a double black. And you're like,
yeah.
Right? And so you have 2 choices. One is you start to go down and you freak out and you're going to die. You slam on the ground and try to hang on for dear life. Or the other is, baby, you focus on where you want to go and you find a way to curve. You find a way to cut. And once you do it a couple of times,
you get used to it.
You have no more fear of that element. Now, my biggest one out of that led me to $1 billion. I have 31 companies now, to give you an idea. 7 different industries as diverse as like stem cells to virtual reality. We have the exclusive for the NBA now in virtual reality, to give an example. I got 1,200 employees. We're on 3 continents, and we got $5 billion in sales. But I did that because I first stayed on one frickin' thing until I got so masterful at it.
So one of the messages that I've repeated over and over and over again on this channel, because it's so important, is the number 1 rule about making money, which is if you want to make money, you have to provide value. It's the number 1 rule about making money. The more value you can provide somebody, a client who's facing a problem or frustration, the more money you're going to be able to make, the more money you're going to be able to charge. If you want to make money quickly, provide value quickly. That's how it works. The challenge is being able to provide the value. Because when you first start off in business, you don't know enough to provide amazing value. You can provide some value, you can help people out, but you can't provide enough value to charge a premium price yet. And that comes through mastery. That comes from understanding the thing that you want to be amazing at, that you want to be world class at, that you want to be the Tony Robbins of at. What is that thing? And go all in and focus on it and get better and get better and get better and get better. You can get better quickly if you focus and practice on it. You can outpace your competition really quickly, like I did at my agency, because I was making multiple videos a day where they were making 1 video a month or 1 video a week and having a really hard time with that. Like, you can get better really quickly with dedicated, focused effort on it, but most people don't do that. Too many entrepreneurs are super scattered. And it's extra hard because maybe you have a full-time job, you haven't quit yet, you got family, you have other commitments, plus you have 100 ideas in your head. And so you're starting this and doing this and starting that and doing this. And then if I look at your productivity of actually moving forward on that thing that you have the ability to be Tony Robbins level at, how much time are you really spending on that one thing It'll be like a start and a stop and a start and a stop, and maybe on Monday and then pull back, and then maybe again on Friday and then pull back. And you never put in enough actual work on that thing to become the Tony Robbins, to become world class at that thing. And that's where you're gonna provide lots of value, and that's where you're gonna make lots of money. That's what you need to really get really good at. Otherwise, you're gonna constantly play in this average zone. If you look at this channel, you look at the top 10 series that you guys love and is what we're known for, there's lots of people who are trying to copy that. There's lots of people trying to make their own top 10s. It's great. We do one 5 days a week, right? Like we're working on a new top 10 5 days a week. We've been doing it for, I don't know how long. I don't know how many top 10s we have. There's a lot. If you want to come into this market, right? If you want to now compete, a lot of people, what they do is they make like 1 a month, 2 a month. And they're trying to make it and they're trying to do better, but it's like the start and stop and start and stop. You're never gonna win by making that level of quantity, because the quantity leads to the quality. The more you do, the better it's gonna get. And the more you'll find your own flavor and style. You'll find a way to make your own top 10 that's different than mine on its own path, right? Like you can't just be a carbon copy of somebody else. You can start by copying, but then you need to find your own twists and maneuvers and make it better. But it's not gonna happen doing it once or twice a month when people in your industry are doing it every day, right? You need to get better. You need to get mastery. And so one of the hardest things for a lot of entrepreneurs to do is to focus, because it's so exciting and it's so fun to work on lots of different ideas, right? If you're an ideas person, right? It's just, oh, this is great and this is great. Oh, this, and McDonald's could really use this, and Staples could use this. And like I could walk into any business and think of ways that they could make things better. And that's exciting and it's a great brain exercise, but you don't actually get great at anything till you start executing, you start doing. And so being able to take those ideas and then focus to say, of all these things, like this is what I want to get really great at. This is the skill that I want to learn to be one of the best in the world at, so it can provide insane value to my customers, to my market, outpace my competition, make a ton of money in the process, have a huge impact on the world. This is what I want to do. It's the people who are masters at their skill set who end up making the big impact, making the big dollars, making the big changes. And the people who are average or just above average constantly live a small life. And so you have to make a choice. What do you want to do? Do you want to start and stop and start and stop and never get good at anything and bounce from one idea to the other? And even if you have one great idea, to never really fully commit to it, and then you 10 years blow by and nothing major has happened because you've never actually committed serious time to doing it? Or do you want to say, no, this is important. My time is important. This project is important. The impact that this is going to have is important. The result that it's going to create for myself, for my family, for my community, for the people around me is important. And I'm going to dedicate myself to becoming a master at it. Stop trying to be okay at 1,000 things and master the one thing that you could be Tony Robbins level at. Do that. You'll start having tremendous success. So the question today is, what do you want to master? What is the big thing that you want to master? It's your big goal. You want to be one of the best in the world at this thing. What is it? I'm curious. Leave it down in the comments below. I want to see your answers.
I came to the mindset when I was in film school, Mark, that I did not want to be a one and done. I did not want to be a flash in the pan. I wanted to be here for the long haul. And when Kurosawa, the great Akira Kurosawa, was doing press was one of his last films, Ron, his journalists asked him, "You're one of the greatest master filmmakers of all time. What else do you still have to learn?" And Kurosawa said, "I still have a universe to learn." So I was in film school, and that blew my mind. It's the baddest ever.
Right.
He's 85, 83, 84. And he says he still has a universe to learn as far as storytelling.
Yeah.
That really hit me. Like, you really gotta, like the jazz term, you gotta stay in the wood. You gotta and constantly be on it, perfecting your craft, and never get to the point that you trick yourself into thinking that you know it all.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong journey. What the stories, to tell stories, how you craft them. Just be a good storyteller, and you do that by having a body of work. So it's always been on the body of work.
Yeah. If you want to see my recent one-on-one interview with Tony Robbins, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The quality of your life has nothing to do with how much money you have, how many beautiful children you have, how many people love you. The quality of your life is where you live emotionally. This is the time to retool. It's the time for you to say, where's the world now? Where do I think it's going?